Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
I'll get it. Okay. Yep. Muck up in the system. It's all good. It was our fault. All right. G'day, guys. How you going? This another crazy week. This, I'm telling you. I just picked up a couple of things. Something very interesting. You're still drinking Coca-Cola, are you? Are you? I'm just asking the question. Do you still go and buy that can of Coke on a hot day when you really like the taste of those kids' kidneys? I'm just wondering. Because as we know, guys, just a reminder that, the day that, Trump got shot was the day the news broke, right? That Coca-Cola was a massive massive UK defense contractor were implicated in the same day in operating a child trafficking ring in Ukraine. So just to put it in perspective, guys, all right, there's plenty going on. So yeah, don't go drinking this stuff. I said to you before, my mate's got a company. It's called, there it is, Wild One. All right. And this stuff, that's his sparkling one. He's giving me to, have a try of and that. But look, they've got juices, smoothies, stuff like that, guys. All right. But get away from, get away from Coca-Cola. Mountain Dew's no good. All right. It's no good. All right. It's got the other stuff in it. All of it is absolute crap, guys. All right. They're killing you. They're killing you with everything. So, yeah. Just a reminder about that Coke. I used to love a can of Coke. I did. And, and I never touched one after SG told me on the show that day that, this is what was in it. I've never touched one. But, we all have drunk it. So, anyway, let's, we got Frank on tonight. We're just going to I'll just get into a couple of things before we bring him and Cazz on, because there's a bit of stuff up here, guys. And let's just go through a bit of it. ABC admits that the video of Australian soldiers firing from a helicopter in Afghanistan was incorrectly edited. Well, I would say not incorrectly edited, but actually dodged up, all right, to make the soldiers, supposedly anyway, I would think. Now, owners deface, listen to this, All right, this is a postman's in this clip, and a couple other people, but owners to face $100,000 fines. You got that right? $100,000 fines under new dog attack laws. Now, I don't agree with dogs attacking anyone, but $100,000 fines, guys. Okay, so yeah, like getting out of hand, really out of hand. Albanese's copping it from all rounds. All right, the Business Council of Australia boss is unleashed on him. All right, I won't go into it, but yeah, all these stories are out there and about, guys. These are the mainstream stuff. Now here we've got, all right, here we've got South Australian MP Tony Bell is facing a trial, right, on theft and dishonesty charges. His defence counsel has told a jury. Now this guy, right, is a cop, all right, and they're going, don't convict. Oh, sorry, he's an MP, and they're going, don't convict the MP on fraud, bribery charges. The jury has been urged. So, like they're urging the jury to not, don't find him guilty. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, man, I'm telling you. Developing the COVID-19 vaccines. Unbelievable. They're still out there doing it, guys. So, yeah, they got new ones coming out, and we've got a clip on the show tonight about, and out there we've got student dies from highly dangerous, incurable virus. I make sure these aren't important ones here. Oh, well, the new symptoms for a new, more contagious COVID XEC variant. So just be careful of that, guys. All right, obviously, it's out there. Now, here's a bit of, remember the political reporter, and we actually put the clip on, guys, all right? And she's a project lady, right, on the project. What was her name? Hang on. Amy Ramikis, or whatever it is. She appeared on Channel 10 show earlier this week and said she was angry at capitalism and for being used to pay off somebody else's asset. Right now, she's complaining, right, about people doing negative gearing and investment. And what we found out is that she actually rents in Canberra, but guess what? She owns her own place that she's renting out. It's just unreal. These people have no shame. All right. So, yeah, that's the chick, Amy Ramikis. But anyway, yeah, off the project, guys. But here she is on Spruik and on there. All actors. They're just actors. All right. And now we got something out there, what to know about vaccine side effects. Well, I'll tell you what to know about them. Don't have their friggin' bioweapon because it's not a vaccine. Simple as that. So let's get Cazza and Frank in. There's the motorbikes, 7 o'clock. Obviously, they need to come down here and just go full throttle up the road. So anyway, how are you? How you going? G'day, Frank.
Hey, Dave. How are you, man?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good.
How's Maggie's going, Franco?
Actually, you know what? It's going really, really well. Energetically, it's fine. We're in our 11th week now, and they had apparently last weekend they actually had a marathon in Sydney, and so apparently all the lawns had barricades and finish posts and all the rest of it. So there was a stack of workers as we were instructing Maggie. And actually, they were all cheering us on, and so, yeah, it was actually quite good. But would have been nice if they joined us at the fence, would have been even better. But the
word's getting out. The word's getting out, and you said, look how long. Look, it's coming up 1,000 days at the Governor General's, at Canberra, Frank. But they've hung in there, mate. You know what I mean? And they're still hanging in there. And have we got the result that the boys want? No, we haven't. But I tell you what, they haven't given up, man. Them guys are a credit. Yeah, unbelievable.
Dave, it's all about the energy, right? She used to go on walks on Mondays, and she stopped doing it, right? Okay, so it's changing their habits more than anything else because they won't front us now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something interesting that happened while we were walking there. Though I bumped into a reporter. He used to work for Channel 7. He now goes independent. And he was doing a piece in town. And as we were walking to the Hyde Park, we got in his ear a bit. And he was telling us about the NDI non-disclosure that they all had to see. Absolutely. Now, he said, listen to this, Dave. He said that 4 of his mates who were working, because he's obviously in cameras and all the rest of it. 4 of them have had heart conditions. 1 actually has died, right? And on top of that, there was a young boy that died in a swimming pool having a heart attack, and they were told not to go and report it. That was his words. So there you go.
Well, actually, we do have a bit of news on that.
Very complicit,
Yeah.
aren't they? You know.
They are. Like, it's just outrageous. But look, this is this girl that I'm just about to bring in. This is her before. This is her 24 hours. Now, they gave her 3 vaccines in 1.
Look at this, people. This will break your heart.
So I keep getting this question. They gave me a meningitis vaccine, a pneumonia vaccine, and the tetanus vaccine all at once. Within a few minutes, my body started reacting, and over the past day, it was literally last night that they gave it to me. Over this past day, I have gotten 1,000 times worse.
Who would give them 3 vaccines at once to start off? And now Steve Kirsch has contacted the mother, and he has said, "I've got an expert immunologist. He's willing to help." Basically, he's jumped in and he's going to try to help this girl, but it's just, it's just horrendous. And then on top of that, the news overseas is still like, this is what's going on overseas, and nothing's being said here.
That's back in the news.
Republican Party leaders on the Space Coast are minutes away from officially calling on the governor and other state leaders to ban mRNA-based COVID vaccines immediately. I-Team Chief Investigator Mike Magnoli has more on what exactly is going on. Mike.
Good evening, everybody. Well, in their own words, the leaders of Brevard County's GOP say that they believe the vaccines are a biological weapon. As you say, this is the executive committee of the party in Brevard. They haven't.
Hey, biological weapon. And Cazz, can I just say that, we said about 3 months ago that they had a 3-in-1 coming out. You know what I mean? We were warning people that this was coming out, and bang, here we go. Again, guys, far out.
That's it. And, Malcolm Roberts, his statement has been making the rounds. I'll just bring that in for a bit.
That people in this country and globally have been steamrolled. It is also clear that it has been coordinated globally. It is also clear that it has been integrated, not just over 6 months, not just over 2.5 years, but it has been planned over decades. The changes to legislation in this country were done so that they could control doctors and people. But the people are waking, and it's thanks to people like Dr. Altman and all the presenters here today, thanks to people like Senator Babette and Craig Kelly. We know and we knew that this is all bullshit and that we've been had. But
there we are.
All right, so I'll leave it there. Guys, I would just like to say something on that. Dave is not a dictator. Apparently, there's a story making the rounds that a little bit of gossip that apparently he's run straight to the. Dave's not a dictator. I put the news together. I like Malcolm. I've met Malcolm. I've actually had dinner with Malcolm. He's a very lovely man. So I don't have a problem playing with stuff, nor do I have a problem playing Pauline stuff. And I've even got Pauline stuff here. Now, Dave and I don't agree on everything. Okay, Dave and I don't agree on everything, and
definitely not.
Definitely not. But that's, but he's not a dictator, and he doesn't say, we can't have that. So,
well, I try, but sometimes I do try, you know what I mean? But yeah, like Cazz says, I'm not a dictator, all right? It's called free speech, guys. Now, I mightn't like these people, and I might bag the crap out of them, and I was trying to get on a space with them the other night, but they wouldn't give me a mic. I told you about that, right? But that doesn't mean that they aren't entitled to their opinion just like everybody else is. Am I promoting them? No. But we run a news show here. It's a news show.
Newsworthy.
Yeah,
and
it's
newsworthy, guys.
So
for those people that say that we've run straight to their lap, no, we have not. And on that as well, apparently, coupled with that is the rumor of mismanagement or misappropriation of funds, or attempted misappropriation of funds. Look, here's the thing: is I've been around Dave for 3 years now. We've been in the trenches for 3 years. I would have seen such things, and if somebody I have even been there when somebody's tried to hand Dave $5 for a freaking sticker, okay? And he's held up his hands and he said, I can't take it, I don't touch any money. And I actually was the one that took it. I took it and made sure that it got to where it was supposed to go. So they are not characterized as people who are misappropriating funds. Okay, that the whole Epic thing, they didn't get any money out of that, and I'm right next to him here. I would know. Okay, not happening. They do not misappropriate funds. They do not ask for any funds, and so that's just that whoever's saying that, it's just nonsense, and it needs to be stopped.
No, it's just another character assassination, but I don't care, man. We stand in the truth around here, and that's all that matters. So yeah, off the shoulder, off the Johnny Mulder, Frank, in the top corner, mate.
And just on that too, if I can just have a minute. Look, if somebody, we've got to give people a bit of grace here, because people are really like dead in the water tired, and they are bound to make mistakes. I even heard something about somebody a little while ago that they'd misappropriated funds, and I thought that doesn't sound like that person. So the Bible says by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So I went to 2 or 3 witnesses and asked them the appropriate questions, and they gave me a completely different story. So they're not that person is not characterized as that. So just remember that, because people are prone to making mistakes at the moment, because we're all dead tired. So yeah,
and we're still at it.
Yeah, and hit by radio frequencies. All right, we got microwave frequencies. We got poisoning. We got heavy metals, guys. All right, this is no normal anything. Okay, it is savage out there. So people are getting manipulated. People are not thinking straight. People are under pressure. People are tired. People aren't getting the vitamins and minerals that they need. Why? Because these bastards have depleted everything. How's your mum, Dave? I just spoke to her 10 minutes before the show. I'm going to probably take her out somewhere tomorrow, maybe. Let's see how we go. But thanks for asking, guys. She's not happy, but she is happy. And, as I said, it's just in God's hands now. We just play the cards as they fall.
Actually, going back to Malcolm Roberts just for a minute, like, when I hit him with those loaded questions, Dave, he didn't hold back. And, I think we gave him a license just to keep carrying on. So, as long as he's banging the drum in the right direction, I don't really care for the time being.
Look, all of it's good, but I just see this as different, mate. This is a war for humanity. If I was in politicians, I'd be playing this game totally different, mate. And it, Frank.
Oh,
you would too, mate. We'd be calling, on 1 million people to come to Canberra with us. That's how we would get what we need. But these guys they're playing squash as far as I'm concerned. They're just playing the ball back to each other. They're trying to win the game, but they're locked in a court playing squash with each other. I'm not saying nobody's not trying to win, but you're only going to win your fucking court. Excuse me, your court. That's all you're going to win. Just your little court.
No,
now, just quickly, while we're still on the subject of the vaccines as well, look, this is really sad. The ballerina died. Michaela de Prince dies, and just one day after that, her mother dies. So just terrible. Like, we're just hearing terrible stories here at the moment. So and look, just a quick shout out to Jody Lowe. He's got new bin stickers, and they're awesome. So when the truth is catching up, legislate against it. Isn't that just absolutely true? And when the truth hurts, branded disinformation. So crush all dissonance. You can hear. See, it's like Kim Jong-il there.
And everyone over at Project Matilda too, well done, guys. All right. I love to see these Facebook numbers going down, and Project Matilda and Rumble and everything else going up. All right. We hate these commos. We're using them because we can reach some people out there that we really care about, and we'd like to be able to view this show and actually make a logical decision on what is happening in the Matrix. That's why we're going to continue with Facebook. I don't want you people to continue with it. All right, we'll do the dirty work for you. You go clean yourself up and get on a good channel. There's a good call.
Yeah.
All right, we've got this situation where it's been admitted. Now, this is MP Julian Hill. He actually admits that 19,000 bridging visas have been granted. Listen to this.
So your hands are cold. Your hands are warm. Yeah. I'll put in my pocket. Nice to see you. I'm good. And you out for a chat, Mr. Hill? Hey? You out for a chat? I've got lunch and I've got meetings and stuff. I didn't thought that suits you. We can work around you. So obviously I'm pretty in touch with the community around here and talk to people. We did street schools last weekend and so on, so obviously I'm aware of the sort of issues. The government has granted 19,000 permanent visas to people who are on TPVs and SHIVs. There's a couple of thousand more, I think, that have now moved out of the bridging visa.
19,000. And he goes on to say many more to come. There you go, Dave. Dave, you're on mute.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear it much anyway. I got bikes going frigging everywhere tonight, mate. It's on. Anyway.
Yeah,
but 19,000. That was where at, Caz? 19,000 where?
Victoria.
Victoria, yeah. Look, and while we're on the subject of Victoria, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I would play the sunrise on Dan Andrews and the bike boy, but Nicola Charles has posted this. Now, this is very interesting because I actually heard this at the time as well. So, this is a friend of mine told me a while ago that the Chinese company Tencent was given the contract to conduct Australian surveillance. He said guys at Sydney Airport took photos of 2 to 3 planes being unloaded with equipment from China. This was during the 2020 lockdown. So who's responsible for all of the new surveillance, traffic lights, 5G, etc., that went up whilst we were locked down for the first time? Now, she said it's Tencent. So, and when you look at what Tencent is, it's just incredible. So it's like it's just outrageous, but it does explain why all of the laws are lining up with the CCP laws. So all of these disinformation laws and things like that. So what used to happen is armies used to come over a hill and they'd basically invade, but you can't do that anymore because basically international courts would rule against it, as we've seen with Israel. So modern day warfare is made up of just basically it's unconventional. And so what happens is you take over economically and then you put pressure on things to basically legislate. And when you have a vertical integration with two companies, when a larger corporation overtakes another company, what they do is they align they go in and they align everything so that the vertical integration can happen. So it looks like all of our laws are actually aligning up with the CCP because of this.
Well,
so
we're reversing them. We're reversing their laws. And I'd like to say g'day to Wollongong Hospital because our mate Stu's in there walking through the hospital with our show on flat out. So, hi, Wollongong Hospital. How you going? We got your number. We think that you ought to stop doing what you're doing. And, obviously there's a bundle of people out here that are concerned about our I'm not going to call them citizens, our other fellow community members and the way that they are being treated in your establishment. So, Mr. Ryan Park, Wollongong Hospital, how you going?
Well, it's interesting that you should say that because look at this. This is incredible. So my message to Mr. Musk is I work for Aussies, not for you. Oh. No, actually you don't. No, you don't. No, you actually don't. I would argue very strongly that you do not.
You work for the New World Order, bloke. That's who you work for, the New World Order. You are well signed in.
It's complete. I think that's disinformation. Maybe we should all contact their disinformation thing and basically put that as disinformation because
maybe we should actually. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Actually, pretty good damn idea. We get that to them and let them know it's disinformation again.
All right. So now
they're consistent.
This is why this is important is because this story has actually been covered by the mainstream media, remembering that it has been they haven't had a bar of it.
Of an accident involving former Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews and his wife has found police engaged in a cover-up to avoid damaging his reputation. We cross live to Tegan Doling, who's in Melbourne. Now, Tegan, this is a very damning report. Take us through exactly what this means.
Yes, Amon, this review was actually carried out by an assistant commissioner of police here in Victoria, former, and has actually been organised by the lawyers of Ryan Muleman. So he was a teenager back in 2013 when he was hit off his bike by an SUV driven by Catherine Andrews, the wife of our former Premier Daniel Andrews. There's been a lot of conjecture as to exactly what has happened that night. It's been a really long-running dispute, but this report has found a number of things based on what this police officer claims has happened. He insists this was in fact a cover-up by Victoria Police for a number of reasons. The first one being that the case was actually saved, the investigation, under the maiden name of Catherine Andrews to try and, I suppose, hide it in some sort of way. It also found that despite what Mr Andrews said about the crash, that the car was in fact travelling at speed and on the wrong side of the road when Mr Muleman was hit from his bike. There's also not enough measurements and photographs as part of the investigation, and he has even come to the belief that he thinks Mr Andrews, Daniel Andrews, could have been driving the vehicle at the time. Now, this is all...
Don't you love it? Who wants to give Dan a kick in the guts? Go for it.
Unbelievable. You know, the thing is, though, I mean, what about that poor kid and his father to put up with this nonsense?
Yep. Yeah. Go on, Cazz, comment. Go for it. You were going to say something.
Me?
Yeah, before we jumped in. No?
No. Go. I'm just queuing the next news story. Yeah, P. Diddy.
They're all liars, mate.
They're all just scumbags together.
Yeah, they're just all liars. They're just like a bunch of scumbags, like you said. You know, it's just unreal. Looking after each other, little boys club. Well, your boys club's coming undone, guys. And we're gonna see to that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the big news of today is P. Diddy was arrested. He's basically Sean Diddy Combs was just arrested in Manhattan after a grand jury indictment. So very, very interesting. Now, remember, a lot of people, including Ariel on Twitter, has basically said that he is the Jeffrey Epstein of the rap world. And Tom McDonald, the rapper, he's actually weighed in with this.
Homes are being raided for sex trafficking allegations. You're telling me the guy who rapped, "I won't be satisfied till all my brothers get it, see you hit it, and then I hit it, turn a freak to a bisexual, and if she's flexible, F the brother next to you." You're telling me the guy that rapped that might be a predator? Shocker. Personally, I didn't trust this guy after he had Tupac killed. That was the red flag for me. Can we make sure the security cameras wherever they lock Diddy up are working? Because we all know what happened the last time a billionaire got arrested for the same thing. Epstein, pardon me. And now Diddy's been accused of sleeping with like a bunch of mainstream artists. Meek Mill, Usher. You know what the best part about being an independent rapper is? P. Diddy doesn't try to you. Like these claims coming in about P. Diddy make R. Kelly look like a Teletubby. And he peed on people. But you know what the craziest part about this whole thing is? There's still rappers out there who would gladly let P. Diddy bone them for a little fame. Stay away from the mainstream entertainment business. Stay away from P. Diddler. And stay independent.
Let's make independence great again. Great again. Independent artists great again. The whole thing with the Trump situation, like it's just getting crazier and crazier. You've got this situation where the mainstream media were on the golf course, like filming it.
What are they doing there? When are they ever covering?
There's an inevitable sit down with protectees across the Secret Service spectrum about open air events. This is going to happen. I guarantee you. The question I can't answer right now is whether each protectee is going to go with the program. In other words, will Donald Trump, if encouraged by the Secret Service to stop golfing, or to change golf courses or do something, that's far more protected, will he abide by that? I think in these remaining weeks, I would take the advice of security professionals, whatever they say, but we're already.
All right, you can see them there filming. Now, it gets crazier and crazier, and I'm going to bring a story in a minute because Ian Carroll has investigated, and he's actually found a financial connection between the last shooter and this shooter. But let's just listen to these people speak. Like I've actually called them the demon Demos demons, because listen to these people. This is how they think, and this is what they want to do to people.
Back in 2016, but I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence, because
he has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of
our
people
power.
without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Even if we were to have a resounding blue wave come through, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare and re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that, I'm sure.
No,
and then this one.
Questionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
Eliminated.
Just eliminate him.
Unbelievable. I didn't like Obama because I knew what he was, but there's no like people that were calling, saying, "Oh, just wish he died," and things like that. No, he needs to stay alive so that these people can be brought to justice. This is the only. They need to be brought to justice, and they need to be paraded around so people can actually see what's going on. Otherwise people will just be,
Hopefully that happens. There's a couple other things hit over in the States today, but anyway, we'll watch and see what happens. But
well, that's
heard it all too many times. We just keep going forward, guys. Right? When someone says, "Right," blows the drum and says, "You can stop," and we can see that we've got the trophy. Well, then we can stop. Until then, it's full steam ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank Central Casting, Dave. That's all.
Yeah, they're brilliant. Hey, absolutely brilliant.
Listen to this. This is the strangest story I've ever heard.
Congress are about to lose their minds. This might be nothing, but it might be a direct connection between the first Trump shooting and the most recent Trump shooting, as in payments from one shooter to the other. And before I show you the sources and the details here, I just want to clarify that this is super preliminary. We don't know what's real yet. Theories, evidence, just pump the brakes. But we want to get this stuff circulating so that it doesn't get buried. So check this out. Multiple friends have just sent me this article about Maxwell Urich, which a lot of theorists on the internet were saying is the actual shooter of the first Trump shooting. There's a lot of speculation. It's not really clear. But this article published on August 30th alleged that he's been missing since that Trump rally. And he turned up because he was training at the same shooting range as Crooks was shooting and training at. And people were alleging that he looked an awful lot more like the person in the photo from the rooftop than Crooks. Crooks' dad has been walking around with a person in a mask and a hood. It's all very weird, and I don't know what the story is there, but the weird part is that in this article, published last month, is this sentence. Bank records of Thomas Crooks reveal a few unusual payments to two individuals, Ryan Routh and Peter Riddle. So this article is directly...
All right, he goes on to basically go into that. Now, I'd be looking at, if I was the FBI or the Secret Service, I'd be looking at Peter Riddle. But why are they connected like that? That's an incredibly strange happenstance. And so, yeah.
You know why? Because it's a movie with Central Casting and they all go back to somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, Frank.
They do.
That's exactly right, Dave. That's exactly right.
They do. Well, interesting stuff, though. It's interesting. Everything's interesting at the moment that's going on. All right. So we've had a lot of it. We've had a lot of stuff about what's going on in the UK, and here's a woman that's talking about this.
Dublin, but I come to Mayo every weekend. But I wanted to talk about what the situation is like where I live, because you have not seen what is coming yet, and I have. Where I live is about 85% foreign nationals. I can walk down the street on any given day, walk into the supermarket, and I don't hear an Irish conversation. I hear foreign people everywhere. My child is one of 30 children in her class, and she's the only Irish child. She came home crying from school a few weeks ago because she doesn't understand what any of her friends are saying. The children revert back to their own languages when they're not being taught. She literally cannot understand the conversations around her. But when Halloween came around there a few months ago, last year she was allowed to dress up. Sorry, the year before last she was allowed to dress up. This year she wasn't allowed to dress up. And when I asked the school why, they said they didn't want to offend people. But I don't go for a walk around the park during the day with my child anymore. I have a big dog and I don't go for a walk by myself anymore. I very rarely leave my house because where I live is so unsafe. And
all right, she goes on to talk about that to quite a degree. Yeah, so Franco, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I went to Warrawong High, Dave.
Okay, yeah, Wagawong High. Yeah,
that's it, mate. Made no difference. Well, we had every language under the sun, man, so it was all right.
Yeah, Warrawong's still a very big ethnic cultural, you know, like where a lot of them went to because it's right next to the steelworks, and so we had a lot of influx down there. But yeah, you fit in well there, mate. Yeah, with your last name, mate, no worries at all.
It was notoriously called Wagawong High, and I'll tell you what, if you were a Smith in my school, you were an outcast.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. There was no Grahams there.
No.
Well, on that, there's a British MP, and he's asked the legitimate question. He's gone, where are the women?
Packed full of supposedly desperate asylum seekers. I want to ask, where are the women? Where are the children? The craft are filled almost exclusively with men, young men. How did they secure the rumoured £5,000 to pay for the cost of their crossing? Even by the Home Office's own figures, in 2022, 87% of these people were men. We must be abundantly clear and honest with the British people. These are foreign males looking to take advantage of our soft borders and our incompetent establishment.
All right, so he's brought it up. Now, what's happening is there's been a backlash in Europe. So what's happened here is Slovakia has basically banned Islam from becoming a dominant, from gaining any official status in Slovakia. Slovakia is predominantly Christian. And Germany brings back its plans to end free-for-all illegal immigration. Also, we've heard, Sweden is deciding to send them back. They're actually paying them to go back. And Brussels as well is making amends. So people are basically, the European Union is looking very, as though even though their plan, so that people know that it is actually a European plan, okay, because we've actually been questioned on this. Here it is, okay, replacement migration, and there is the UN flag down the bottom. This is available off their website, so you can actually go and download it themselves. It's been a plan since the date on that is United Nations 2000, okay, so you can actually go and read all about it. So it is actually a thing. So. And it's been a long time.
It's funny how this pushback, from these countries is coming at the same time as BRICS and some other things are, getting a little bit more power and momentum too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's getting ready for the cork to pop, guys. I tell you, it really is.
It's brewing. It's brewing.
Yeah,
It is brewing. It is still brewing. So but the thing about it is that the UK people are really getting in an outrage about these situations with. So this is Hugh Edwards, and he was a newsreader, I believe. Now he had 41 images on his phones of children. Basically, it's quite horrible pedophilia. Okay, and no jail time for him. And it's made the British people quite outrageous, and they have taken to social media. And here's one of them.
I can't believe this. I've just put my horses in the field, picked up my phone, looked at Twitter. Hugh Edwards is walking free. He's free. He got a 6-month suspended sentence. A guy with child rape photos of children, little boys between 6 and 9, child rape photos on his phone, and they've let him walk free. So what does this mean? You may as well make it legal, because there's people fucking sitting in jail for things they've posted on Facebook, like Lucy Connolly and others, things they've posted in Facebook, and this guy is not going to serve a single fucking day in jail. Tell me how this is justice. I actually feel sick feel fucking sick. I want to cry. Like, I feel sick. I don't even know what to say. Like, what the fuck? When children get raped and you're sharing pictures and you don't get a single fucking day in jail, tell me what the fuck is going on.
Well, there's also the case where a guy waved a flag at a protest, a British flag at a protest.
Yep.
And I think
Arrested.
he got jailed for 3 years. And a man set a garbage bin on fire, and he was jailed for 9 years. So it's just that, like, the two-tier Keir Starmer thing is basically on the Brits are completely and utterly outraged, which everyone should be outraged. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, the Irish are standing up, mate, and they're giving, I saw another young girl, some guy tried to molest on the street. The Irish are just bopped him, mate, and sat him down on his ass. And so, yeah, the Irish are at least coming back and putting a few of these immigrants in their place. But, again, it's not the immigrants' fault neither. You know what I mean? They've been brought up, they've been coerced, probably MK Ultra, poisoned, whatever else, Are they wrong? Yeah, they are. All right. And it probably is their fault. I should watch what I'm saying there. But, yeah, this is all by design, guys. All right, this is our brothers and sisters that are turning on us. You know what I mean? And they're not meant to. It's humanity.
Look, the thing is, it's a clash of cultures, Dave, because if you look at this story, now this is horrendous by our standards, but this is normal because this is what their court in their country rules. So in Pakistan, a woman was raped, and instead of arresting the rapist, the Sharia Council determined that the rapist's sister should be raped by the victim's brother. So an innocent teenage girl was publicly raped in front of 40 people. It's a clash of cultures. So this is, like, you can't have this culture coming in and expecting them to behave. And that's not, everybody knows that that's not all Muslims. We know that, okay? Like, that's not what we're saying here, okay? But there are pockets where this kind of thing is acceptable. And that's the law.
By design. They've been paid by Soros, right? We know what's happened. We're all pretty well educated on it.
It's their hidden agenda. It's like, it's certain elements of their faith that they actually, sort of sit behind, and it's about assimilation. But these people there's no one's had time to do jack shit. We've just been overloaded with all these, cultures coming in. And, like I said, that their laws are certainly different to ours. There's no question about that. But I mean, I'll tell you what, we're falling behind, way behind as well.
Oh, yeah, they're starting to get into our parliament. Yeah, like you said, Frank, they're getting into our parliament. They're going to grab the Muslim vote, you know what I mean? And all we got is a bunch of, now we got the new libertarians that you can't even have a discussion with, you know what I mean? Like on the fucking stage, excuse me. But anyway, everyone's useless. Everyone's absolutely useless. A lot of them. Oh, I don't care who you are. You're a politician.
I had to listen to that on Sunday, and I'll tell you what, mate, it was just like the same old records being played over and over again. I just thought, mate, they need to go down as well.
Yeah, they just talk about the superficial. No one wants to get in here to where the actual core problem is. They want to talk around all this bullshit. It's all bullshit, man. Get down to here, and then we can start working out how to do it. You know what I mean? But, unbelievable. That's why they won't let people like me in their spaces.
No.
All right, we're being taken out by a really cool song.
By the Cabal, actually.
It's Vitamin's Chart of Coercion. It's quite long. It's about a 7-minute song, but it's really worth while. It's Gitmo or Ghost in the Machine Orchestra, which I thought was very clever. So, Dave, Franco, final words, and Dave, if you want to wrap up, and I'll bring it in.
Yeah, look, I mean, how much more can we take? Come on, guys. Mondays at Maggie's. Serve your pharmacists, serve your local members. Let them know that you're not happy. Get in their faces. I've put plenty of stuff off of myself and Belinda and Phil and the gang and all the rest of it. If you're not happy, it's time to stand. Come on, we need you. We want you. We need you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I'll just say, who done a live today?
Cam on Project Matilda.
Cam on Project Matilda. Well done, Cam. Who done a live today, guys? Come on. Just switch it on. Don't be scared. All right. Just go live, sit there and wait for people to click in. Okay. And start the conversation, people. You'll be surprised what reaction you're going to get. everyone's out there starting to wake up, guys. And I'm telling you, this works. I'm telling you, it'll work. All right. You just need to do it. Participate. All right. So get on your private page, light it up. You don't have to admit to being a conspiracy, anything, or a nut job or anything. You're just wondering what's going on out there. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because, wow, man, we can't even friggin' afford to keep the kids in soccer next year. We're looking at pulling the kids out of all sport. We can't do it. They got to eat. This is the conversations that are going on in the general public, people. Now sport's coming to a close. These conversations will be had by parents. How are they going to get through next year if it keeps going like it's going? And, guys, it's only going to get worse. So, yeah. Anyway, get out there. Do a live, all right? Wake some people up. Okay. Good night, guys. Thanks again to everybody.
In a shadowy realm of unseen power and manipulation, 8 sinister techniques govern the mind: isolation, monopolization, exhaustion, threat, degradation, helplessness, obedience, submission. Join us as we uncover the chilling truth of psychological warfare.
That Spider-Man's coming from Chinatown. It's gonna mess with your head to break it down. With the power to coerce, it's gonna do you in. 6 feet apart is just where it begins. Spider-Man's going to against your friends. Well done if you never talk again. Isolate you from the world, don't question it. Just 15 days to control the spread. Oh, that Spider-Man is gonna get you good and you'll give in, just like they knew you would. Oh, that Spider-Man, it's gonna make you fall, think it to your chest. Just do what you're told. Oh, that Spider-Man, focus on the fear. I guarantee it's gonna be everywhere thanks to Spider-Man's chart of coercion. They're gonna break you with it. That Spider-Man's coming for your kids. Gonna mess them all up so they won't resist. Confused and abused, that's the name of their game. That Spider-Man's done will never be the same. Oh, that Spider-Man is gonna get you good and you'll give in, just like they knew you would. Oh, that Spider-Man, it's gonna make you fall, finger to your chest. Just do what you're told. Oh, that Spider-Man, focus on the fear. I guarantee it's gonna be everywhere thanks to Spider-Man's chart of coercion. They're gonna break you with it. When you finally wake up in your shackles and chains to a world you never wanted, it may be too late. Hoping and praying it was all a dream. One thing that Spider-Man did not foresee is that we'd become their worst enemies. Hey, Spider-Man, the tables about to turn. We thank you for the lesson we have learned. Hey, Spider-Man, looks like the gig is up and you lost all your power over us. So hey, Spider-Man, I hear the biggest fear is passed away. And what do we have here? Thanks to Spider-Man. Chart of coercion. Never gonna get into the streets. Read the podcast. You.
Get back to this damn thing, Peter Island upstairs. We're all on to you.
Hey, Tony, are you sad that you're in the number 3 spot as a fucking murderous people like Star and Stalin and Hitler?
Thank you.